You are tuned to Make TV. Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for liking our channel and thank you for subscribing, most importantly, to our channel. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you like what we do. All right. Today we'll be talking about another topic that centers on relationship, and that is cohabitation. We are going to be looking at it in different aspects: religious, moral, and general view of this topic, cohabitation. What is cohabitation?
Before marriage.
Cohabitation simply means people living together before formal marriage, or let's say a test marriage. People just come to live together. They feel well, they have to know each other or try to see if the marriage will work. Well, is it bad? Is it right? Is it advantageous? Is it disadvantageous? Well, we talk more on that after this break. Stay tuned. Thank you for staying tuned. Welcome back. I am lovely Carrie, your anchor on this program and on Made TV. And I have my friend here, Moses Uba.
Yeah,
Thank you for coming on the show.
thank you.
And also another good friend here, Amarachi Adekunle. Thank you for always being there. All right. How's the weather been treating you? It's been cold and scientifically or meteorologists says we'll be experiencing this cold till 22nd of this month. But some people are already complaining about the
Yeah.
cold. Then what will you say about people who live in temperatures below zero?
Mm-hmm.
Some people can get to some states like Mexico can get up to -10, -11, even in China, even in Chicago, states like, all right, even in Chinese countries, Sweden, Texas, Sweden, these countries can become so cold.
Russia as well.
But it's all
Russia
about
too.
adaptation. If you get there,
Yeah.
too, you will adapt. But a lot of people are complaining. Even this weekend too was tough for me. It was so cold. It was so cold. Yeah, but I sailed through. All right. Of course, I'm still alone, so the cold is all right. Thank you so much. We're going to be considering this topic today. So we're looking at two sides of cohabitation. Cohabitation. What is cohabitation? Right. When husbands, oh sorry, when friends come together to live together. Let's say maybe they want to practice marriage. Yeah, because of the spate of divorce now, people feel okay. Let's live together 3 months, 6 months, a year. Let's see if it will work. Let's see if it will work. And well, staying cohabiting, of course, there is no argument to whether there will be sex or no sex. Of course, even when people don't cohabit, they still have sexual relationship. So we want to look at it in various aspects. Of course, looking at our religious views, it's definitely a no. For two major religions we have in this country, looking at it through the eye of the religion is practically a no, is unacceptable to cohabit. And then when it comes down to our moral values, our mamas will frown at it, that cohabitation is not the best. And come to think of it, do you think that even if you stay with someone for 10 years, you can know them totally? we've had people who got married for 40 years, and at the end of 40 years, they discover that it can't work again, or somehow it's after 40 years, or after 10 years, you discover that the man is an armed robber.
Mm.
You had a different view of him, different profession he's doing, but you didn't know that this man, when he says he's traveling, he has gone for he has gone for robbery. He may even be a pastor. He may even be a pastor. You know, some people cover up with clergyship, there being an imam, being a pastor, to do a lot of evil. It's not everybody is called, right? Some people, whether you call yourself or God call you, at least you should live to what you stand for.
Mm.
To live to what you stand for. So you may not even know this person until 15 years, until 20 years, even if you've been married. You did. There are some people, it's after 10 years you start seeing their real self. One man, some men were at a gathering discussing. They said, you may not know a woman until after she has given birth. Maybe she has given birth to all her 4 children, and that will be between 8 and 10 years before you start seeing real her. So that's where they start knowing that, oh, we're not compatible. So looking at this is what do people stand to gain in cohabiting, or let's say marriage testing? Marriage testing. What's the advantage? Why should people? There are a lot of people who are doing that these days, especially in our country. It's not just related to the Igbos or Yorubas, but I think there are some parents also who want the would-be bride to get pregnant.
Yeah.
Yes, and if that is not happening after 3 months, they begin to
Alarm.
raise eyebrows, and then she is termed barren, and the relationship is ended for the man to get another woman. So he keep test marriaging. You keep test marriaging. You do this for 6 months, this one for 1 year, it doesn't work. You keep testing. So what are the advantages of this test marriaging called cohabitation?
Mm.
It happens all around the world, not only in Nigeria. It happens also in America. Some people just decide to agree to stay together for different purposes, maybe to get the green card, to save money and all that. So what do people stand to gain? Why are they into cohabitation? Why not wait for the real marriage and just get into it?
I feel is out of fear of maybe marriage failure. So some people tend to cohabit to see if they can be compatible. Okay, like
Yeah.
check
Yeah.
whether can we live together, can you tolerate me, can I tolerate you. They want to see all of the person, of their partner, before um, going into marriage. So maybe out of, though I might not know sha, but I feel some is out of fear of the rate of divorce in our society today. They feel it's a way of trying to know the person better. Okay, let's even see whether this thing will work. Of course, if the test running is not working, that means the marriage cannot work. So that's the mindset of some people anyway. Yeah.
So you are telling us why.
I'm thinking
Oh, but I was
that
actually talking about
why people
why
go.
what okay, let's
You,
say is that's an advantage,
yeah,
right?
they see it as an advantage. Like I thought
To
you
know
asked
how.
why people
I said, what was the question I
cohabit.
asked?
Yes.
I
Why do
said,
people
what do people gain
stand to gain?
Yes, that's the
when do
advantages. What they gain
okay,
from
okay,
it.
now you're
Yeah.
talking about why. Okay, it's good we're talking up from there. Why do people actually cohabit?
Yeah, I said I feel they want to be more compatible. They
They
feel
want to test
test
their
test their
compatibility.
compatibility to know
All
whether they
right.
can live
To
together,
see
tolerate
the
themselves.
the level of self-control, to
Exactly.
test their
Yeah.
temperament, to see
If they can be able to
if they can live
live
for the
Together.
rest
together
together for the rest
yeah.
of their lives. Okay, Moses, why do people cohabit?
Well, cohabitation before marriage, there must be a goal before you engage in such.
Mm.
There must be a goal what you're driving at.
Yeah.
If you're driving out to help your relationship, it should be for that. If you're driving go cohabiting for to save money, well, there's a goal for each everything we do. Now, why people do this is because I feel they want to deepen their relationship. That intimacy, physically and emotionally, they help to know themselves. That bond, they create a very strong bond for them. Physically, emotionally, they are glued to themselves together. So it helps deepen their relationship. They go deep in themselves. You get me? So their relationship will be very strong emotionally and physically. That's one of the advantages.
So it strengthens
Their
the
relationship,
cohabitation
combination.
strengthens
Yes,
their relationship.
yes,
Ideally, before getting married, at least a couple should have courted for at least 6 months to get to know each other. But some people still feel it's not enough.
it's not
They
enough.
should move in
Move in
together,
Yes,
experiment everything.
yes,
Test
there are
it.
some things you won't see when doing courtship, like just normal visitation, and when you stay with the
Want to know whether
person,
our mouth smells, whether
yeah,
their
all those
body
things,
odor,
the way he snores,
whether it
and all those
smells,
things. It will only display when you
whether
can
she's
stay.
temperamental,
Yes, for a week or
whether it's
two.
prone to violence.
Thank you. Just like there's something I was listening to on Sunday.
Okay.
Now this guy was okay. Two of them been dating. I believe they stayed together. Yes, they've been dating. They stayed together. So the guy was like they had an argument. They were in an argument. Then the guy slapped the girl twice. And before the guy could say Jack Robinson or Jesus is Lord, he's on the floor. He did not know what happened to him. He just found himself on the floor
As in,
after slapping the lady
okay,
twice.
knelt down
No,
to.
no, no, knelt down. He collapsed.
Okay, he slapped the lady twice,
and he collapsed.
and he himself, the slapper, collapsed.
No, that is the funny part now. So after a few months, he discovered that the girlfriend is a black belt in judo.
The guy is a cult member.
Not not
He's a
called.
cult member.
No, in judo, like all these gymnastics and karate.
Okay, martial arts.
Yes,
Okay,
martial
martial arts. Okay.
So she's
okay.
a black belt. She's very good in it. So that's how she could just knock him out.
Oh,
So now the guy is complaining that he wants to get out of the relationship. How will he do
just
that?
because you
So-
hit the one that is
That is stronger than you.
stronger than
So-
you.
If they were not living together, he wouldn't have known.
So that means he can just go ahead and be beating her, expecting that she will just be there like vegetables.
So you see, that's one of the advantages. It helps you know your partner very well. It deepens your emotion relationship too. All those things.
All right. Well, you have given you said the helps them to test
Their
their
compatibility.
compatibility, so they know each other better to know
Yes.
if they need to back out. Okay, from all this now, so what are the advantages? What do they gain from
They
cohabiting, living together before marriage? Why
Now,
the rush?
why the rush?
Okay.
Also, it helps them save financially. You understand? Now they feel, yeah, we're two different people, and we're going to get married. So why don't we start staying together and start practicing this stuff? At least,
Possibly
okay,
reducing the cost
reducing
of
the cost of
two
the two
different
different
accommodations.
Yes.
Okay.
Now they stay into one and they start, helping themselves both financially. The two costs will be reduced to one since they are both staying together.
Cost of feeding,
Cost of feeding, everything, rentage,
utility and all that.
utility bills, and
NEPA,
everything will be
yes.
reduced to one.
Yes.
And then I also feel they feel is a way of let's say getting the full attention of that their partner.
Yes.
Sort of like when when you are apart, when you see once in a while, there tends to be suspicion.
They feel it's
Will
not
this
enough.
person truly love me? All this kind of. So it's a way of let me get the whole of this person. Let me get his or her full attention. His eyes glued to me, or her eyes glued to him. You know, those kind of, like, get a bond, a more closer bond between the partners, depending on their goal anyway.
Yeah, depending on the goal. That's why I said
From
that
the
from the
onset.
beginning. So
Then,
another, can I?
then okay, go ahead.
So another advantage for them is that it will help you know if you're the type that should get married. You know, there are some people that they are not. I'm not sure if they are not. It's not everybody that's meant for this marriage. Yes, it's not everybody that's. There are some people that they can't actually tolerate other people. They just can't tolerate. No matter how perfect you present yourself to them, they just can't. They still find flaws, and it irritates them. Yes, because there are some people that just feel okay. Why getting into marriage if since it's just to get kids? You can get baby mama anywhere and get a child. Yes, there are people doing it. It's happening now.
Yeah,
Many
sure.
men feel, and some women they feel being in a marriage is like locking
Bondage.
yourself up. Yes, the time for you to that is a free world, is a life of opportunity and a life to explore. When you're married, you can't. They go to club, be in a place. You are restricted to that married womanhood. You understand me? And not really, not everybody, not every woman are ready to go down to that, and not even every man. Many men are just like, come on, if you're married, you won't be able to test this and enjoy all these things. You'll be tied down to this one woman. You understand? And many people feel that marriage is not for them. So before you, at least, if you go into cohabitation, you know that this is the kind of person it is. So it helps too. It helps very well. Cohabitation.
Any more
for marriage.
advantage?
Then some also have it as a way of satisfying their sexual
Yes.
urge. As even there are some, based on the reason why people are cohabiting.
Yes.
There are some that they are just sexual sex mates,
Yes.
and they just since you are far away now, let's stay together. So anytime we need it, we get it, and
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. Even some
for
guys,
sexual satisfaction.
some men they do that just to tie the lady down. They just tell you that come come and stay, just come and stay in my house. I will marry you. You are my wife already. But it's a lie. It can be that the man is married somewhere else,
Yeah,
and you're here
yeah,
doing.
depending
He's
on
just wasting your time. See, at the end of the day, the man say, "Well, it's over, it's over," and
It's over,
you're going with that stigma and everything.
Okay, I think that should take us to
To
disadvantage, because you're already talking about the disadvantages now. Now we said they want to test compatibility.
Yes.
They want to they reduce cost, save.
Yes.
You know that, of course, that is when they go into it with a goal.
With a goal.
yeah.
Some just find themselves in it. Okay, after all, we're boyfriend and
Or
girlfriend.
boyfriend, let's stay
start-
together.
Let's stay together. Let's live together. Before you know, it's one or two things lead to the other. Now, at the end of the day, if this doesn't favor them, what happens? If the testing doesn't work for them, what happened? They have to separate. And at the end of the day, one person is at the receiving end.
Yeah.
One person is at the receiving end if they have to separate. One person is feeling used.
Yeah.
One person is feeling used, and most likely it
The
is
women.
the women feeling used, because they are more emotionally attached to the marriage. Because most time when a woman is undertaking that with you, she feels that it will end in marriage. But at the end of the day, it doesn't end in marriage. Not all.
Not all.
Majority do not even end in marriage.
Yeah.
And that is to say that even if you cohabit, it doesn't mean that you will not divorce. doesn't mean that you may not divorce.
Mm.
So someone is at the receiving end of the cohabitation disengagement.
Well, well, the one of the disadvantages that, like as you said, one person is at the receiving end, and the person is the lady. So when they later break up with their relationship, the woman, the woman, the woman will be at the receiving end. She will be the one to receive everything. Imagine after you've stayed with the guy for
Cook
a
for
year
him.
and you've
Get to his
done all the
house.
rights as a wife.
That's why.
You cook, you wash, you do everything, and you know that experimenting wife. After everything, then you break up. Now, what will your friends say? What will that thing affect in the brain of the lady? So the lady goes home with the stigma and go back
Depressed.
depressed and
Regrets.
the depression can lead to any other thing you know. You can end up attacking the man, killing the man, or killing herself. Feel used after so many years.
And that has already has brought about so many women feeling like all men are the same.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when once dealt with like that, they will, some don't, some just keep themselves. They say that marriage is not for me. They just lock up themselves there. That is why some women are not getting married today. They're not even thinking about marriage again. They feel like
Yeah.
I've tested this thing before. It's
It
not
doesn't
working.
work in.
It's not
Yeah.
for me. So it brings a sort of bondage to their marital life, and that's one of the disadvantages.
So stigma, they can be
Yeah,
stigmatized.
stigmatized.
So it's assumed that even though they are not married,
Yeah.
they are living with a man, they are
Yeah.
cohabiting.
Yeah.
Yes.
So eventually when they leave, people look at them like one who cannot remain
In a
in
marriage.
marriage, even though they are not married. So there is that stigma that, oh, she keep moving from one man's
Man to
house
another.
to the other,
Yeah.
if this one is not working. And in the meantime, if she had never, if they had never been cohabiting, nobody will have that stigma that you
Yeah.
let your house or your father's house, because it is assumed
It's
you're
assumed that you're
married.
that
getting
you are
married.
getting married,
Getting
even
married,
though
yeah.
you were not. Cohabiting is assumed that you are married, even though you are not. So there is that stigma of, oh, this one is moving from husband's house to another husband's house. So that's the way it looks like. Then,
Another disadvantage
okay,
is that people cohabit before marriage does not mean that they will find out the whole truth or the real the real makeup of that person in that relationship.
Yeah.
People can pretend even in such relationship because they already know that this is we are doing
Oh.
rehearsal. This is test running.
Yes, running.
So people can hide a whole lot of things even in such relationship. So like the point I made, some feel like they let them go into this to see if they can be compatible, if they can
Yes.
tolerate themselves and all that. So in such environment there will still be pretense. There will still be camouflage because they know it's for some time. You might not really still know the real person that you're going into marriage with, if at all it will end up in marriage.
That's the truth.
Because if I'm a woman and then I find myself in such a relationship and I know that this time will determine whether I'll be married or not.
So
Even if I'm a devil, I will become an angel by fire, by thunder. I will do all I can to pave my way to make sure that I doesn't fail. You understand?
Yes,
So
yes.
by the time they still, maybe finally it might lead into marriage, maybe the man might see this lady, she's an angel, she has been so nice, she's good, I've been living with her, you know, now
quiet,
humble, accommodating, in fact tolerating even the family members and all that. But by the time the marriage now kickstarts and you now see
the true devil comes out.
the true devil comes out, and then that will also lead to divorce.
Do you know that usually some don't even see the red flags.
Yeah.
It's hidden.
Yes,
Some are not sensitive
their
enough.
eyes is covered just because of the emotional involvement.
Attachments, yeah.
Their eyes is covered most
For the time
likely
being.
because of the sex and all that. They don't see those red flags coming,
Yeah.
so they're just living together, and at the end of the day, they get married, and
Wow.
that
We
thing
will.
that
we
thing,
will-
that red flags becomes an upgrade portion of itself
Yeah.
and begin to stay in their faces, and they start wondering,
Wondering
how did this come? It's something they have ignored. Like someone who was slapping you, talking down at
down
you,
at you.
and you just really, after all, it's my wife, it's my this thing to be, and you let it be. Then when you get into that marriage,
be
you start
begin
to
to
blow.
box.
So
Oh,
you
it's
start to
punching
blow
back.
you. So it has been there. Or someone who was unable to even buy you sweets.
Sweets.
So tell me how he will be able to buy you gifts
Hmm.
when the real marriage comes.
Mm.
So you can't really predict these things, but I feel that it is safer to study yourself afar off than come together when you feel that you are satisfied.
Mhm.
Then determine to work
Yeah.
together. Right, I don't have any document to back the fact that you cannot cohabit. All right, it's about your choice, but when you look at it and the disadvantage outweighs
The advantage.
the advantages, and you need to consider the choice you are making. Well, it's marriage is something you cannot really predict,
Yeah.
except
Unpredictable.
the parties involved come out and they are being
Sincere
sincere.
to themselves.
They are being sincere and are ready to make it work. There are people who have been engaged in marriage, not even cohabitation now,
Yeah.
for 20 years, and they still get divorced.
They still don't
So
know
why?
themselves.
What happened? What happened? There are some things they have been enduring over the years that they just feel they cannot take anymore.
Take it anymore.
Possibly infidelity, lack of attention, financial cases,
Yeah.
issues, all that, and
Mm.
maybe barrenness. One of the things I want to make people who are married to separate.
Yeah.
Mm.
One of the things I want to make people who are married to separate. Then it doesn't mean the fact that you are cohabiting, you are living together. That guy can or that woman cannot be involved with another person else. Mm-mm-mm. He doesn't guarantee the fact that that one too cannot be engaged in infidelity. So it's about two people who are truly
Who
open
themselves.
to each other.
Yeah.
And of course, what we call marriage is not cohabitation. Marriage is not cohabitation. There are some people tend to lose values for themselves because of this kind of see finish kind of thing. They see their partners becomes cheap,
Yeah, becomes so cheap.
but somebody you waited for, right? You took time. Generally, naturally, something
You
you
have value.
something you worked for, something you waited for is usually more valuable naturally
Yeah.
than what you just got easily,
Mhm.
what you got easily at your reach. You can compare the value you have for a pen of 50 naira and that you bought 1,500 naira. That one you bought 50 naira, you can misplace it,
You can
place
even
it anywhere.
Yeah.
But trust me, if it were to be that one you bought 2,000 naira, even when you are in a place, you don't drop it on the table.
Yeah.
You place
Keep
more
it
value on it, because to get that is not as easy. If you like, you can get 350 naira pen in a day, but you won't like to lose that 2,000 naira pen because of the time it takes to work for the money, and it's not every shop you can get that kind of valuable pen
Yeah.
from. So cohabiting is it's cohabiting is, for me, it makes the parties look cheap. Yes, you
Yes,
can
that's true.
easily access this person. You didn't go extra mile to get that. And again, like I said earlier, looking at the moral values of our own setting.
Yeah, our
It
culture.
yes, it is not right for you to cohabit, just go and live with someone you are not married, because automatically you're already, the only thing is that you have not signed papers. You're already living
You're
as
already married
illegal husband.
and
And
wife.
wife.
Yes, you're already living as illegal husband and wife. And as a woman, if anything happens, because you're not married legally, and if you get pregnant and you're still not married legally, you are plus.
Yeah.
You don't have any legal backing. You don't have any legal backing, you're not married.
And the man can discard you at any
The
time.
man can discard you and marry another person legally. Somebody who is better, who can satisfy him in all ways, who can do what he likes. Who can do what he likes. So you have your own opinion. This is just based on our opinion and based on few examples we have seen around. It usually doesn't work out. It usually doesn't work out. The fact that you cohabit with somebody doesn't mean that it will end the marriage, or doesn't mean that the marriage will work. Though we have some
That
who
works.
have cohabited and it
Then
works for
marriage,
them.
yeah.
It led to marriage and they are still in it.
Happily
Of
married.
course, we cannot deny that. But I think the statistics of those who are not working overweights those who are working. And then why the rush? Why the rush? Take time, plan yourself. And I think what you have afar of surely is valued. When you stay, look at siblings now. When you
Yeah.
live together, you see the way you quarrel, the way you
insult
insult each
yourself,
other, and all that.
fight.
Especially things with their parents, you just
Yeah.
want to go. But
Yeah.
then when you go, when maybe you go to university
Distance.
or you travel for holiday, you come back again, you are so new.
Yeah.
That respect is revived, unlike when you're just there. You're just there. So that's it. That's it. So it, for me, it cheapens the partners involved. So you should wait, plan yourself, and it's not only about sex now. When we're talking about cohabitation, it's
Yeah.
not just about sex. After all, people who
are
don't
not
cohabit,
cohabiting,
they
are
do
still
it.
indulging in,
Whether they
yeah.
sneak or whether once in a weekend, they do it. Then, but then is about making yourself valuable. Yes,
Yeah.
you make yourself valuable, not easily seen, not easily touched. So you now turn yourself to a material, but not just about the woman now, a man
Even
as
the man.
somebody that can be experimented. No, you should give yourself more value.
Experimental
You should
material.
give yourself more value than that. All right. Right, listeners, thank you for tuning in on the show. I don't know your opinion. I just given my opinion, and unanimously we've given our opinion. We've talked about both sides, the advantages and the disadvantages of cohabiting. What are your opinions? What do you feel about this topic? Kindly let's have your comments on this topic. And if you have not subscribed yet and you're just joining today, if this is what you like, please subscribe to our channel. Turn on your notification button so that as we upload new videos, can get you can get notifications. Thank you once again for tuning in. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Thank you, buddy. Thank you for coming on the show. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for immense and enormous contribution on this show. Hoping to see more of you. All right, see you again next time.